Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. Alright, so we have a very long video, a long update to do. I'm gonna open it up, I think, to a top 15 here. Originally, you know what's funny is I was thinking about doing a top 20, and I've been getting a lot of comments of people saying like, oh, do like top 15, top 15. And I was like, top 15 might be good. I looked into doing a top 20, and it gets a little iffy from like 17, 18, 19, 20. It gets, in my opinion, quite subjective. You know, we're arguing characters that it's like have flaws all over in the current meta. It just would be kind of pointless. Top 15, though, I think we're looking pretty good, pretty good. There is one placement in here I think that's really going to piss people off, but we'll talk about it once we get there. I'm still a little on the fence about it, but I decided I want to kind of like talk it out, I guess, with myself while recording this. So let's get going. We're going to do a top 15. This is the best top 10 we've ever had. It's the best top 15 we've ever had. It's just the amount of good LRs is just so crazy. At 15, I'm going to have AJ LR Broly right here. Now, I mean, AJ LR Broly. Wait, this is a perfect time. Okay. Hold on. Let me pause. I made a tweet here for this exact reason. Hang on. Right here. Standbys and domains. It's kind of the same thing right now. What I think Dokkan is doing is they're intentionally giving most characters standbys and domains to kind of like, I mean, if we could call attempt limits like artificial difficulty, because they're just like putting a literal attempt on how many times you could do the event. I think like standbys and domains is almost kind of like an artificial power creep or something like that. Like all you're doing is just like, okay, like a character is super good, but oh, now there's a better standby, so that makes that last character a little bit worse now. Oh, now they're fighting over domains. Like other characters are a little bit worse now. It's kind of just like that. And I mean, Broly is now a victim of domain clashing is a huge issue all over the place. But specifically within Broly, in my experience, the best iteration of these villain teams to run that I've had the most success with is definitely double int Broly. But I mean, it gets a little bit messy. I mean, we now have a top 4 fights. There's a definitive top 4. You have Goku and Frieza, Bulma, Super Gogeta, and Super Janemba are the top 4 fights. Between those 4, almost every single character can be killed in one of those 4 fights, right? Basically, every character on this list has a weak point at some point during one of these 4 fights. That's why I actually, as time is going on, I think the Super Gogeta and Super Janemba fights are perfect and are a great complement to Goku and Frieza and the Bulma fight. Broly, as we know, can be tortured in base. Broly has a mid-base form. And, I mean, a lot of the times, if we're using him on, like, the Int Broly team or something like that, we're not using his domain. But this guy is still a killer when his domain is out. I mean, I have, you know, here and there used his domain recently. I have used AJL Broly's team specifically. If I'm going to use AJL Broly's team, I definitely wouldn't run Int Broly on that. Like, this guy's still good. He's dropped down for numerous reasons. And again, like, there's now a better Broly, in my opinion, with a better domain. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, better domain to make him better. But I think Broly still deserves to be here. I mean, if there's a character he was maybe fighting with for this spot, it would be like future Gohan, probably. I think that there's a couple of other characters potentially in discussion. You know, Bulma. You could probably... I mean, Easy Tech Broly, he just gets, like, walloped early. Like, it's pretty easy for him to get killed at the start, right? There's a couple of different names we could talk about, but, like, I feel like Broly... I'm fine with HL Broly right here with what he can do. And he's definitely a lot tankier, I think, at the start in, like, slot 2 or 3 than a lot of the other options we might come up with here. Besides maybe, like, Team Universe 7, who is not on the list. That's probably it. Next, I'm going to grab 17 and Golden Frieza. This is a very, very good character still. I feel like people probably sleep on them a little bit. Universal's Rival Saga is still a crazy team. Still one of the better teams. In truth, I mean, with now the Super Gogeta and Super Janemba fights existing, I would have, before those fights came out, I probably would have said the Int Broly team is the best team in the game, and I was saying that. But now, many of the Int Broly team characters can just get insta-killed in those fights, right? Easy Attack Broly, AGL Broly, Cell Max, there's other options I'm like not fully thinking of, but a lot, like Bio Broly dies turn 1 to those fights. A lot of the other options get insta-killed in those fights. LR Turles would, many of them could, right? So that makes that team much more of a risk. Funny enough, I think Superhero is definitely still the best team in the game because, 1 through 6, it's like Beast, and then you've got like AGL UI, Tech UI, and Evolution Blue Vegeta. Like, those trio turn 1, like, they're so good for the Janemba and Gogeta fights. And again, kind of, I think Goku and Frieza's the hardest fight in the game. That's the first fight I'm looking at. But then after that, again, like Bulma, Super Gogeta, Super Janemba, those are the big ones. And then maybe a little bit of Cell Max and Blue Kaioken Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta sprinkled in. Those are kind of like the big fights we're talking about here. This character is pretty much only a slot 2 or 3, but they are nigh invincible in those slots. I've used this character a bit here in the Gogeta and Janemba fights, and of course they're untouchable. Very, very safe. Gogeta, I think, is a little bit harder than the Janemba fight, and Gogeta's typically double supering. He does it very commonly. And if this character's on the scene, Gogeta's not doing shit to them. He can barely touch them. So, I mean, they're just super good. The thing is that this character, they're not going to be the star. They're not going to be the sexy, Carnival Tech Broly, slot 1, tank it, triple super character. But, like, they can hold business down in, like, slot 2 and slot 3, which is good. So we have them there. Next, this is where we bring in Gogeta. Yeah, crazy. If I had not done a top 15, this might be the only time I do a top 15 as well. Like, the next time I probably will update this probably is going to be in... we'll see if whatever LR... We're probably going to get an LR in 2 weeks. Maybe sometime around, like, the 15th or something like that. We'll see if that LR, gets into here. But I'm not going to promise a top 15 forever. This might be the only time I do it. We'll see. Gogeta, it's kind of the same thing. Like, Gogeta in base, like Broly, I mean, this character can just get crushed, man. I've done a lot of videos against Gogeta and Janemba, and it's like they could just take a lot of damage. Gogeta was taking... I'd have to go back and double check the situation, but he was taking like 150 per normal or something like that. I think it was from Janemba. I'd have to double check which one of the two it was, but like he could get crushed early on. But you have to respect that he's a Rainbow Orb Changer. That shit, it's so big. And I've told y'all the main criteria I'm looking at, the top 4 fights. Bulma counts, man. A lot of people are gonna pretend the fight doesn't count. You could do that. That's totally up to you. I'm not gonna not count it because the gimmicks that are in the Bulma fight, a little bit of it creeped into the recent Supreme Magnificent Battle. And we saw, even though those fights aren't tough, there's a lot of weirdo gimmicks in there, right? Gohan lowering ki, the bomb mechanic in the Trunks and Goten fight, right? Like, if some of those fights with their weird mechanics, if the difficulty was jumped up to where they were super us, like on Gogeta and Janemba level, those fights would be very, very interesting. So it's like Rainbow Orb changing is huge for some of these fights, right? If a boss has a bomb mechanic, this can get rid of the boss's bombs, which is huge. But then also Bulma, you literally have to have Rainbow Orbs or you lose. Now, the reason this guy's even in discussion is, of course, once you go blue. He has one of the better target mechanics in the game. It does not work against 17 and Golden Frieza, who are a dodge-canceling boss. Like, if the dodge-canceling bosses didn't exist in such a major way, the UI Gokus would probably be bumped even higher up on this list, and same with Gogeta. But there is a killer dodge-canceling phase, which I've had more trouble against that phase, 17 and Golden Frieza, than I have maybe since any boss since 7th Anniversary Red Zone Broly. I don't know. Maybe Infusion Zamasu as well. Like, it's tough. This guy's still super good. Typically, I've found that this guy is fine defensively against normals, and then he's got the dodge for super attacks and stuff like that. Definitely pretty good, but I think his weakness in base for so long kind of is what holds him back a little bit. Next we have AGL Jiren here. I think that Jiren could struggle in the Super Gogeta fight, but he does pretty good against Janemba. The thing about Jiren is he is one of these standby characters, charging standby characters, which, I mean, we have what? A revive standby, which is GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. We have the counter standby, right? Is that what it's technically called? The Dragon Fist one? I think it's a counter. And then we have like 50 charging ones, right? And remember, you can only use one of the charging standbys at once. Like, you can't just spam them all. So that is kind of like a huge issue, I think, for potentially a lot of these characters. Jiren, we're not typically running him on teams with a lot of standbys, I've found. So he usually, the standby is pretty safe for him, and that's this guy's calling card. The reason I like this character so much is you go into his standby and he has 100% damage reduction. He doesn't have fake untouchable status like many characters here do. Tech Broly actually can get sunned pretty fucking easily. Beast Gohan can get insta-killed pretty easily. Jiren, in this mode, not so much. Not so much. He has true 100% damage reduction, which is really, really powerful. If you don't need him in slot 1, then you can get this massive support as well. I'm not the biggest fan of full power Jiren. No way. But, I mean, this guy is still a very, very effective character. He's slept on quite a bit. I think that's more so because he's not on global Dokkan more than anything. Next is Int LR Broly here. I mean, Broly is just good. It's just like he leads like a good team. The thing about it is like double Int Broly is a very consistent team where it's very difficult for this guy himself to be killed. At the end of the day, I mean, really, like, what's more important than a character that just doesn't die? Like, that's kind of the point. It's just not dying. As long as you've got this guy's domain up, he's good, right? Because he's guarding with 60% damage reduction, so he's looking really good. But the only thing is, I don't like running this character unless I have full uncontrollable power, right? Like, flat out. I want to be able to use the domain whenever I can at any point. I just don't. The restrictions for Broly annoy me a lot, and certainly I think even Cell Max, we'll get to him. Cell Max has tumbled quite a bit. His restrictions are now a bit of an issue with, you know, like uncontrollable power / movie bosses is kind of like the main villain core right now. And, I mean, there are some restrictions with this guy, with Cell Max, that you do have to sort of play around with. You know, sometimes running some of them or not running some of them, stuff like that. I mean, there is Super Easy A Broly, who, you know, has a little bit of a restriction. LR Turles needs some certain type of characters, right? There's some stuff there. I mean, this guy is definitely probably... I mean, he crushes the Gogeta fight. Because he takes away Gogeta's territory, which means Gogeta can no longer nullify melee attacks. This guy is super good against like Goku and Frieza. Remember, most of the Worldwide Download Celebration characters are designed with Goku and Frieza in mind, very clearly to me. Goku, Gohan, and Trunks, Gohan, both Brolys, to me, feel like they're intended for the Goku and Frieza fight. Like, they dropped that as the pre-Worldwide insane fight, and then they dropped a lot of the Worldwide characters with mechanics specifically to beat that fight. And I do think this Broly is one of them. In a lot of these fights, you're not going to be able to get his revive up. I kind of like his revive having no other condition besides just his third turn, is what the way you think about it. His third turn is when you get it up. And then that's it. Like, just once you hit his third turn, he's got the revive up. I think that's one thing that's pretty safe about double Int Broly, again, against Bulma, against Goku and Frieza. Doesn't really work so well against Super Gogeta and Super Janemba, because you're not going to get to this point in those fights. And some of the lesser characters on the team, Bio Broly turn 1 is not that good. Cell Max turn 1 could be insta-killed if those bosses super him, right? Ize Tech Broly could be insta-killed. AGL Broly can be insta-killed, right? A lot of those characters, like the 4, 5, and 6 options on the team can easily be killed by Gogeta or Janemba. I'm talking in slot 2 and slot 3 and shit like that, right? Pretty good, but I mean, I think just compared to some of the higher characters on this list, I don't know that it's correct to say he doesn't do as much, but I don't know. Like, I can't really explain it, because, like, a lot of times it's an easy way to describe his team. Like, you're just winning, right? Like, you just win. Like, the team functions pretty effectively, but I just, like, this guy's just not as strong as the characters in front of him. I think considering this guy's a Dokkan Fest LR, In my opinion, he's kind of not good enough. I don't know. There's a couple of his restrictions could have been wiped away or something like that. I do feel like this guy should be a little bit better. Not saying that the team can't win or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying, but like he definitely could have been a little bit better. I don't know. All right, so we have him right there. So that's basically these are the extra characters who essentially didn't make it. This is pretty good. Dude, UI Goku is 10. He's 10. 10. It's just so crazy to me. That's so wild. I really like Tech UI Goku because you have his dodges, man. It's just, in base form, this guy, I think, is significantly better than AGL Broly and Physical Gogeta and stuff like that. Now, I mean, he can be killed, obviously, easily, but, I mean, I'll take his base. A lot of the times, I really want to get to his domain, which is the same thing as in Broly's Revive, Tech UI Goku's third turn. But I typically want to get to his domain, transform, not because base Tech UI Goku is not that good. It's because I want to protect other dodge characters, is why it's so big. We know this guy, at his first turn, he's still competing for, like, number 1. Like, this guy. This guy right here. Keep in mind that the way he does damage, though, this chip damage shit doesn't work that good against Goku and Frieza, unfortunately. Goku and Frieza, I mean, this Goku's really only able to damage Goku and Frieza after he super attacks. So, like, they could do a bunch of attacks, and he's going to do 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Once he double or triple supers, though, oftentimes his counters can really deplete Goku and Frieza's HP. It just depends. You just need some good luck. And then, obviously, this guy can be tremendous in the Goku and Frieza fight if you are able to get his domain up, early, once you get the 17 in Golden Frieza. That could take away one of the biggest strengths that 17 in Golden Frieza phase has, which is dodge canceling, which makes things very, very spooky. So we have him right there. Yeah, this is great. Wow. What? Damn. It's just that the top 10 is so good. It's so good. You just can't even believe it, man. Like, these guys are like 9 and 8? What? Yeah, wow. Okay. It just doesn't even feel real. Dude, like, I've seen so many people hating on this guy in particular. This does not feel like the 9th best. This feels like the 3rd best character in the game to me. This guy. Like, this guy does not feel like number 9. Dokkan has given us such good characters this year. It's unbelievable. This guy's, I have him 9. It's like, I didn't even really wrap my head around it. But yeah, like, again, like, this guy, like, he's way better than just being number 9. Again, I've seen people hate the shit on this guy, which is so crazy to me. Because you want to know what really happens in Evolution Blue Vegeta and AGL UI Goku? They never fucking die. Right? They never die. And they're invincible. I mean, this guy is literally invincible turn 1. He shows up, you have 100% dodge. Second turn, HP is under 77%. Maybe he revives, and then his next turn he's got 100% dodge again. Right? Like, it's just it's absolutely silly what this guy can do. So good for the Gogeta and the Janemba fights and the Bulma fight and stuff like that. But I mean, if we're talking about AGL UI Goku specifically, there is so much footage of this guy dying to 17 in Golden Frieza in my runs. We've seen this guy like that. A dodge canceling fight, which is the hardest fight in the game, which to me, I give a little bit of bonus points to, right? Like, it's like, so there's 4 main fights, and I don't grade it like 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. It's more like Goku and Frieza to me gets like 40, and then the other 60 is divided between the other 3 fights or something like that. Like, that's kind of the way I feel. If there was no dodge canceling, I mean, bro, you could make the case that this guy is like 3 or something. 1, I don't know. It's crazy. They gotta have dodge canceling fights, man, to keep shit in check. I really think so. I've been saying this for years, too. Like, don't, people will just jump in, hear me say this one random thing and be like, wait, that's not what I've heard from everyone's secondhand talk of you. Yeah, I've been asking them for dodge canceling for a while because dodge is too strong, right? So it's good that the hardest fight in the game has it, I think. I do. Yeah, he's really good. In Evolution Blue Vegeta, man, I don't really feel like he's fallen off. It's just he has the same issue he always has. It's not really an issue, but it's just very... You can't really run him in slot 1. right? It's like you put him in slot 2 or slot 3 and he doesn't really die. With his guard up, he could go in slot 1, although, I mean, some of these bosses hit so hard turn 1, he will take massive damage in slot 1, but to be fair, like, so does Beast, right? So do a lot of characters, potentially. You know, but I think that this guy is just super good, man, and I feel like he gets way too much hate. I would say that his revive, in the hardest fight in the game, Goku and Frieza, it is almost impossible to get his revive up. Unless you've done the fight a lot of times with this guy, no offense, I just don't want to hear your thoughts on it. Like, I'm sorry. But it's just, you take this guy into that Goku and Frieza fight, and you will see. It is very, very difficult to get his revive up. Now, Bulma, you could get it 100% every single run. If you make it past the Rainbow Orb changing phase, you'll have this guy's revive up every single run in the Bulma fight. That matters. But Goku and Frieza, it's so tough to get that shit up in that fight. It's so hard. And then, I mean, Gogeta and Janemba, you're probably not going to see it either. I don't know how many times I've seen Vegeta's revive versus UI Goku. I've seen this guy's revive at least 3 times more often than Vegeta's. Something like that. We see this guy's revive a lot. Not really this guy's so much. Alright, next we have Cell Max. So this is where I think Cell Max has dropped down quite a bit. Whoops. Wait, what? Did it freeze? Huh? Oh, yeah, it did. Hold on. All right, we're back. We're back. It froze on me. What the hell? What? $5 million PC, so Google Chrome crashes it. Thank you. Cell Max takes a large tumble. I mean, in my opinion, from what I've seen, he can really struggle against Gogeta and Janemba. He can really struggle. And the reason for this is Cell Max has one of the worst mechanics you could possibly have. I've said this since day one for him. Go back. I always have talked about this. This is just the worst. Get hit to get defense is not good. It's counterintuitive, right? You're asking the character to get hit to take these hits in order to be like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Now, again, Gogeta and Janemba completely wash him, but, I mean, he's still high to this point because Bulma and Goku and Frieza can almost do nothing to him. He destroys those fights because he's got basically the best taunt. Gogeta's, is very powerful, but there's dodge canceling fights. Beast's is very powerful, but bosses can kill him through it. Cell Max's, these bosses right now, as they're constituted, are not killing Cell Max through his active skill. And Cell Max is doing an attack, which Beast does not do. If, we were, like, pure artificial life form or super bosses was a legitimate team, this guy would shoot way up. If we could do his active on turn 4, that'd be ridiculous. But right now, we have to wait till turn 6 to be able to do his active, which is a big difference. But, I mean, you get that active off, you win against STR Bulma or Goku and Frieza. Or you could use it against 17 and Golden Frieza as well. Cell Max is still crazy in those fights, but again, he does struggle quite a bit in the Gogeta and Janemba fights. It feels right to me to kind of have him right here still in front of UI and Vegeta. Again, UI can get just crushed quite easily against 17 and Golden Frieza. I guess to be fair, he does decimate Bulma. Well, I mean, he does, but he also doesn't have any additionals or Rainbow Orb changing. Like, his additional, he does have this, but, I feel like I have really bad luck with this. I don't know. I feel like it's such a common thing for my UI Goku to super attack one time. And it's like that Bulma fight, phase 1, you have to get 12 Rainbow Orbs. In, her second phase, which lasts 3 turns, you have to super attack 4 times while she's lowering your ki by 9. I don't know. Just the way Cell Max can terrorize and end those fights, Team Protector mechanic, just on command against Bulma and Goku and Frieza, I still kind of like Cell Max right here, I think. Could I drop him any more? Below UI and Vegeta? I could, but, this still feels fine to me for Cell Max. What about Tech UI Goku? No. No. If I would drop Cell Max anymore, it would be to 9 with UI and Vegeta above him, but I'm pretty comfortable with Cell Max right here, I think. All right, next we have Super Janemba. Well, wait. Yeah, this is where I guess this is where we should talk through this. And then Goku, Gohan, and Trunks. I think people are going to be shocked to see that we've reached a point where we're discussing them already. Now, I want to put Janemba in front of them. But let's kind of like talk through it. Now, Janemba is a character that gets like a stunning amount of hate from what I've seen. People talking about he just doesn't work on teams, and I'm just completely flabbergasted. It's complete make-believe Fantasyland bullshit. This guy, again, I think at the end of the day, like, how often does the character die? Probably matters quite a bit. And that's the thing about this character. This shit is so broken. This is so busted, especially when you're running their team. But do you guys know how many times this character has died? I mean, if you watch, nobody can watch all my videos. I put up way too many videos, and it's not that I'm putting up a lot of videos, but it's like I'm putting up a ton of videos while also dropping 2-hour-long videos, right? Like, you know, like all the time. Like, I feel like I upload so much, and I've started to put such length on some of these videos that it's just like there's no way someone could keep up with every video I'm making, right? We've seen this character die more than any character on this list. Easily. Easily. No character on this list whatsoever has died as much as this character. And then it's just like, Janemba's not died. Like, since he's easy, right? And I've been putting him, what do you think I do? Put him in harm's way. I'm not hiding him. Like, dude, he's ridiculous. He, like, guarding, damage reduction, rage mode. Like, dude, he has a team protector mechanic. People talk about this guy, and they just pretend that he doesn't have this, which literally robs Goku and Frieza and Bulma of their biggest strength, their 5+ million super attack. Janemba does that, and they just can't do that anymore. like people forgot about that. Like, it's crazy. I don't, dude, this character's busted. I don't see it. To me, he seems like a perfect fit on the Broly team and shit like that. Like, he is so good, and he's so strong defensively. Again, Easy 8 Tech Broly, Cell Max, AGL Broly, Bio Broly, all these characters, Super Easy 8 Broly, all of them can be decimated in the first couple of turns. You know who doesn't die? This guy. And you know who does die a lot? Is them. They die nonstop, man. And, I mean, they are a character that relies heavy on type orb changing. You guys would know, I've been talking years back, type orb changing can be a very big annoyance, man. Type orb changing is just frustrating. The character just dies so much. Their team relies on this character so much. Their team is not as good as you would think. They needed Tech Gogeta so badly, dude. Tech Gogeta was so important for this team. It struggles so much because you don't really have slot 1 characters on this team, right? All these Super Saiyan characters are not really slot 1s. So you end up with this character in slot 1 all the time, and a lot of times, I mean, against these real killer bosses, they could get exterminated. And then that brings us to one of the main points of this video, which is this. When you put a standby or a domain on that character, everything is all good. It's all good. You know, it was a good day as playing. It's all well and good. And then they drop that next domain that's stronger. Or they drop the next standby that's stronger. And that happened to this character. They dropped a standby that's stronger than this character. So now, I mean, this unit is pretty invincible in this form. But, I mean, I will never, ever go to this over the Family Kamehameha. The Family Kamehameha, which is so powerful and so broken that I think you could call it a team protector ability because you'll kill the boss before the boss literally can attack you. But you can't really do this. And here's another thing, too. if you do go into this mode and then you don't kill the boss, you have a bit of an issue here, which is this right here. If they don't have this up, they're a bit of a fish. And this is a huge problem for them in the Gogeta fight and the Janemba fight too. People all over are talking about how often this character just gets killed instantly because it happens. So I don't know, man. And it's like, I do feel like, you know, like some of the, like this, it's just all this. This is a great character, but they just die so much. People are going to be mad. I mean, be mad. I want to drop a good tier list, and I want to make sure it's true to myself, right? I don't mind the 500 French code tweets calling me Mr. Stupid Idiot Fatso. It's fine. As long as I know I've put a lot of thought into this, I've done a lot of videos with the intention of making this, and I'm not putting out bullshit, and that this is, from my point of view, from my eyeballs, and, you know, me playing the game, this is kind of like a ranking of strength level. I'm kind of okay with this, man. The Goku, Gohan, and Trunks, I mean, they can be so good. They can dominate Goku and Frieza. They could dominate Bulma. They could dominate Gogeta and Janemba. But they could also just very easily die in almost any single turn. And you look at every other character on that list, and that's mostly not true for most of the rest of this list. Right? Base Gogeta and base Broly can be killed, yeah. Turn 1 Jiren could be killed easily against Super Gogeta because it's type disadvantage, right? Like, but it's like Int Broly, how many times you guys think we've seen Int Broly die? Right? Like, not much. This character, like, dude, like, yeah. And it's like, the thing is like, I could hear someone say, well, don't put him in slot 1. Well, okay. But guess what all the rest of these characters up here can do? Exactly. They can go slot 1. So, I know that this is going to be controversial, but I mean, at the end of the day, we have a character that doesn't die, and we have a character that dies all the time. But I will always be running them, though. Do not question that. They will always be on the team, but yeah, in my opinion, this character and Cell Max are probably the two hurt the most by the new fights, Gogeta and Janemba. Right? Like these four right here thrive in the new fights. These four. UI, Evo, UI, and Int Broly. They decimate the new fights. You know, Int Broly shows up turn 1, domain up, boom. He's good. He's able to go toe-to-toe with Janemba and Gogeta. You know, UI and Vegeta are invincible turn 1. So, yeah, man. This is how it is. Next two. I mean, these guys, to me, I feel like are very close. Tech Broly and Beast. I've seen a real push for Tech Broly at 1, believe it or not. I mean, Tech Broly, I would argue, is probably my personal favorite character from the Worldwide Download Celebration. So, I mean, I'm not really pushing back too hard on the love for this guy. This guy has one of my favorite mechanics, which is called you decide how you want to play the game. You could like his transformation condition, it's just literally whenever the fuck you want to. Okay? That's called good design right there. Giving the player more options is a good thing, not a bad thing. Now, the issue with this guy is that he is just pretty similar to Beast Gohan, except he does a lot more damage once he transforms, right? Like I really find their performance to be pretty close. But Beast is just, Broly, it just grows into doing a lot more damage. Typically, it's once you kill Paragus, I mean, he's just in a different galaxy than Beast in terms of damage, right? That's the exact point where, you know, a gap opens up between this guy and Beast in terms of damage, is once you kill Paragus. Once this is up, it's over. This guy is living at 20 key. He's doing 30 million attack stats. He's really crazy. But, I mean, here's the thing. This is the most important thing to me, is defensively. At the end of the day, unless you're this character, right, and his offense, the Family Kamehameha, which literally can kill the boss before the boss can even attack, unless you're doing this shit right here, Defense is way more important than offense. It always has been. It always will be. Literally just a fact of the game. Beast has stronger defense than Broly for one extra turn, essentially. Broly, you know, you could stay in base for a turn. Then after that, he becomes a fish defensively. So you transform. Then he's God for 2 turns while this is up right here. He is a defensive god. So you have 3 turns of him being elite and invincible. Beast basically has the same thing. You have 3 turns with his intro of him being elite and invincible. They're tied. But then Beast has his active, which you're able to do right away. That, to me, that's the difference between these two, is Beast's active. I'm totally on board with the Broly love. I mean, if this was a target mechanic too, along with this shit, like, yeah, like I put Broly in front of Beast. But right now, Beast is just stronger defensively than Tech Broly, I think. And this active is a huge part of it. Now, I've seen, it's mostly discussion from global players. No offense, global players. I'm not attacking y'all at all. This is a Matsu, that bastard. It's his fault. We're 100% putting blame on Amatsu and Dokkan. No global player's fault. But Beast and Tech Broly basically don't die on global right now. Like, they're not dying. Goku and Frieza and Bulma can kill them. Now, I mean, Beast, if you really juice him up, Gamma 1-2 turn support and shit like that. Like he could stand his ground with the active up even against some of those, you know, damn near 6 million supers. But you got to do some extra juicing. If you're just doing a normal run, you're just running him out there, he can get killed by Goku and Frieza and by Bulma. And so can Tech Broly, right? They're very good. Now, I did already show Gohan at 1. Gohan, I mean, this is a little out of the ordinary for me because Gohan turn 1 can be a bit iffy. He's not really a force multiplier to be able to go into slot 1 and be able to just take control, right? He can't do that, which is definitely an issue. But you get into the standby, it's literally just turn 2, and then this guy is a dominant slot 1 up until you literally just one-shot the boss and do 150 million damage with the Family Kamehameha, killing the boss before they can attack, which is ridiculous. Absolutely stunning ability. In slot 2, this character is going to be very effective too. Well, the base Gohan is going to be very effective. This guy does damage like basically no other character I've seen in base. I mean, you do need a couple of procs for these supers to go, but like, dude, no character is doing damage as fast as this guy does. Like, it's crazy how fast he gets up there, right? Like people will talk about the easy attack Broly, I guess. But, I mean, it still takes a turn longer than this guy. I don't know. It gets very silly how much damage this guy could do fast. But, yeah. I do kind of count the Family Kamehameha almost as like a pseudo team protector. Because, again, many people would talk about EGL Broly, and they would say he could kill the boss before the boss kills you. But that's bullshit. Literally, is it fact or fiction? It's fiction. Because guess what? The boss attacks first. Literally, the hardest boss in the game attacks first. If it's turn 1 against Goku and Frieza and they're above 50% HP, you can get this guy in slot 1. And he could probably cook them. But if they're under 50% HP, no bueno. He's not going slot 1. He doesn't get to dictate. You know, oh, he could just do so much damage. Doesn't fucking matter when the boss kills you before you can attack. This character, though, literally attacks the boss before the boss can attack. So, you know, again, if you literally just kill the boss with the Family Kamehameha before they can do anything, yeah, that kind of does function as a team protector. I'm okay with this character at 2 for now. I could potentially see myself eventually dropping him maybe to 4. We'll see. Another tough fight shows up. Maybe I put Beast and Tech Broly above him. To me, Beast and Tech Broly are kind of married at the hip. To me, they're very similar. It's just Tech Broly's a bit better offensively and Beast is a bit better defensively is what I see from them. And then number 1 is Tech Gogeta. I find it stunning. Where's Tech Gogeta? Right here. I find it stunning that this character is not thought of as unanimous number 1. It's shocking to me. Shocking. I don't get it. The only thing I could think of, again, is that Goku and Frieza and Bulma don't exist on Global. this character, dude, the way they dominate every single fight. Like Goku and Frieza, they're damn near like the best character for the fight, right? The Scouter doesn't do anything for Goku and Frieza, but it does really help you against that toxic bullshit that is the 17 and Golden Frieza fight. It helps a lot against Bulma. Oh, by the way, remember the Bulma fight I talked about where you need 12 Rainbow Orbs so you auto lose? Well, they're a Rainbow Orb changer. Remember the Bulma fight I talked about where she lowers your ki by 9 and you have to super her 4 times during that turn and you auto lose? Well, good thing we have a character that does guaranteed additional supers. Well, this is 70% chance, but this is a guaranteed additional right here. So they cover, and then, you know, Gogeta can just straight up go toe-to-toe. Bulma can't touch him. He could just go straight up go toe-to-toe with, I literally call her Dark God of the game. He goes toe-to-toe with her. No other character can basically do that. None. It's wild. This guy, the only reason I think that it's like he's not, well, I guess like Standby Jiren could, but you guys, a little bit hyperbole. You guys get it. You got to relax. Jesus fucking. Every comment. People come to this channel just to argue with me. I'll argue with you, but you're not going to like it, okay? Now, listen. This guy's won, man. It's not a prisoner of the moment. It's not, oh my God. I mean, I've made the point throughout the video many times. At the end of the day, like, how much are you living these hits? How much are you dying? This character, who's killing him right now? Where do they die? You know, Gogeta and Janemba, they're sitting in slot 2. That character's not, like, base Goku and Vegeta, they're not dying to them. This character, they're insane. Ridiculous. Right? Like, I mean, if we toss him in slot 1, I guess, like, you know, Gogeta or Janemba could kill him if we just throw him in slot 1 willy-nilly like that. They're sitting in slot 2, they're fine. Then you transform, GG. To me, again, I think they're clearly number 1. I don't even... bro, clear as day to me. So there's that. I do have to... No, yep, I got it correctly, yep. Yeah. This is it. Top 15. If I think the thing people are going to be most mad about is Goku, Gohan, and Trunks, but I'm willing to take it on the chin. The character, damn, they're good, but I mean, they just die too much. I mean, at a certain point, I need to not just ignore what's happening in front of my face, right? Like, we died again because of them. We lost because we couldn't do damage to Goku and Frieza. I mean, I'll tell you all this. If this character was AGL, would they just be outright number 1? It's for me? I don't know, maybe. Maybe. That is true. Damn, I didn't talk about that until this point, but their typing crushes them. Because well, I guess Gogeta and Janemba kill them, right? They can kill them right away, and that's, they're not type disadvantage. But, like, all throughout this year, so many of these biggest bosses have been STR. And this character is not guarding. They're just damage reduction. So it's like they get whacked. I mean, these, you know, 5, almost 6 million supers are, you know, damn near 7 million plus against them because they're type disadvantage. So it's just brutal, man. Yeah, again, I'm sorry. But, like, at a certain point, I got to just go by what I'm seeing, man. And I'm seeing that Janemba doesn't die. Tech Broly doesn't really die. Beast doesn't really die. I think Gohan, of the top, you know, 7 or top 6 right here. Well, no, I mean, STR Gohan definitely does not die more than Goku, Gohan, and Trunks. Because so much of the fight you're in Gohan's standby. That's the thing. If Gohan didn't exist, that'd be much more favorable on Goku, Gohan, and Trunks. Because we could be in their standby for a lot of the fight. Which, you know, Gohan takes that up. He has a better standby. That's, you know, it's a huge thing. Right? These domains, you know, domains and standbys become an issue. Tech UI Goku, it's all good right now. Up until Superhero gets a better domain. Right? You know, Jiren, we're okay right now. Until there's a better standby on some of these teams. Right? Like, that's, you know, same with Family Kamehameha Gohan. It's all well and good. It's sweet right now. But wait until that better charging standby comes out on his team. See ya. He tumbles down. It's just how it is. I think that there's several things they wanted to do to kind of introduce, you know, a natural pecking order and stuff like that. it seemed to me like, you know, they want opening rotation RNG to be a huge factor in a lot of these fights, which is why they give these characters start of turn abilities and not start of battle abilities. That's just what I've noticed. Although they did get rid of the attempt limits on nearly all the events. All the tough events they did. Because the Movie Hero Supreme Magnificent Battle is not that tough. That does still have attempt limits. But, like, the Tournament of Power Supreme Magnificent Battle, the really tough one, doesn't have attempt limits anymore. So that's good. That's good. So, yeah, this is where we're at. I mean, definitely some significant changes since this is September 17th. Obviously, you know, I've had a lot more time to use these characters. The Gogeta and Janemba fights have dropped. We've had more options drop for some of these teams. So I dropped Goku, Gohan, and Trunks and Cell Max back a little bit. I guess is kind of the big movement. Those two characters dropped. I could probably potentially even move Cell Max down more. I think right now that's a good enough fall for Cell Max. Because, again, with Cell Max, it's not just his potential weakness in, like, the Gogeta and Janemba fights as well, but I do think we've reached the point where his restriction is quite cumbersome for his teams. Right? Like, if we're bringing, like, this has got to be at the front of my mind if I'm using this character. Right? And then we also have to deal with Int Broly's restriction, and it just becomes a bit of a mess. Right? The restrictions, it can be annoying. I could live with this guy having restrictions, though, because he's still just a Yellow Coin LR. I really hate what they did with this guy. This is a Dokkan Fest LR. He should have no character restrictions whatsoever. It's silly. Dokkan Fest LR, don't mock me, Amatsu, okay? Dokkan Fest characters at all should not have this. Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku, First Form Frieza, get that garbage the fuck out of my game on these Dokkan Fest leader characters. No way. Yellow Coin LR, we could live with it. Sure. It's a Yellow Coin LR. Dokkan Fest LR? No. You've been a naughty boy, Amatsu. I'm keeping my eye on you. I need you to tighten up. All right? No more of this on Dokkan Fest characters, dude. No. That's not what we're doing. So, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, top 15. I love you guys. Feel free to let me know how stupid I am. It's fine. I put a lot of thought into this. I'm not baiting. I'm not doing it. Like, I wait to put this up until I'm very confident in it. The only thing I just wanted to talk myself into on this video was this, and I successfully did it. I'm comfortable with Janemba right there. Let me know what you guys think. Love you guys. Mwah! I'm out of here. See ya.